I've literally been travelling since about 8:30 last night. Long overnight stay in the airport, and finally got here, starting the TMB, and I've just got a cable car up to cut out about an hour of hiking, because it is literally 2:30 now and I'm literally only on the trail. But even the drive in here has been breathtaking. So probably won't get an awful lot done tonight, but I'm going to get cracking anyway. Right, so this is the first col, or saddle, mountain pass, whatever you want to call it, of the trip so far. Col du Tricot, which is 2120 metres. So about an hour and 15 minutes to get up here from Bellevue. That was starting over 1,000 metres, to be honest. But it was clear pretty much most of the way up. So yeah, absolutely zero viz, but I actually quite enjoyed the climb up, to be honest. Long downhill section now. I'll get down to Refugio Miage, I think it's called, and then decide if I'm going to stay there for the night or push on to Lake Contamine. So this is my first little village so far in the TMB, Chalet du Miage. Right, so I made the decision to stop at Refuge Miage, or Miage, whatever it's called, because of the weather forecast. I'm glad that I did. Literally got the time put up, and within 2 minutes it started a torrential downpour, which then, because of where I was pitched, the water didn't really drain away, so I ended up with about an inch of water all around, and eventually seeping into the tent. So I decided to get out, waterproofs on, and literally move the tent to 20 metres or so. But to be honest, the rain's that heavy, I don't think it's going to make a difference. It's not just as bad where I've moved it to, but like, day two, just leaving Chateau to Miage, and about 5k or so into Le Contenu for breakfast. A horrible night last night, rained the whole night. In fact, this is the first this morning we're heartbreaking rain to get the tent put away, so a bit of a later start about 9 o'clock, and a bit of an ascent now, heading over into Le Contenu. It's just after 1 o'clock and just passing Refuge Nantes Brant, and had something in from the eating that's come to me a few hours ago, so I'm just going to crack on. So just out in this absolutely stunning valley now, just after Refuge Nantes Brant, another couple of kilometres to go, and a few hundred metres of ascent up to Refuge La Bam. Four o'clock and made it to Col du Bonhomme. Scenery over the last hour has been absolutely breathtaking. This place is unreal. Little mountain hut there just beside me, but like, the views up here are spectacular. Just over 2,300 metres, and I think about 2 hours now should get me to Le Chapeau, all being well, another 200 metres of uphill, and then from there it's downhill all the way to Le Chapeau. So day three on the TMB, spent last night in Le Chapeau, great little campsite, or bivouac site should I say. so it's free to stay here, but they asked for a donation. Munching on a freshly made pan au chocolat. I've picked up another one actually, so we can have that later on today. And I'm heading to a place near Courmayeur today, Hobo Camping, which I think is about 25 kilometres from here. So early enough started, woke up at about 6:30. Didn't plan to get up that early, but I was up, so I just thought, yeah, let's get up, get ready, get on the road. So everything packed away and just about to head off. So, on the road this morning, about a 5k walk from Le Chapeau to Ville de Glacier. There's actually a shuttle bus that will ferry you from that bivouac site where I stayed last night to Ville de Glacier, but I'm just walking it this morning. I think the majority of people seem to be getting the bus that were staying there, but yeah, beautiful wee mountain road through this valley, so looking forward to it. Excusez-moi, s'il vous plaît. Excusez, madame. Merci beaucoup. Great success. So 9 o'clock, just passing through Ville de Glacier, and now I'm about 5.5 kilometres away from the Italian border. So 5.5k distance, and the border crossing is around 2,500 metres. So with about 700 metres of ascent roughly, and there's a little bit of stream crossing there. Yeah, so 5.5 kilometres and about 700 or 800 metres of ascent, and that will take me up to the Italian border. Okay, so that's me just over the Col du Bonhomme. So that pile of rocks up there represents the border between France and Italy. So I've literally just crossed over into Italy. I plan to stop at the top there, take a bit of a break. I've been on the go about 2.5 hours roughly. But the water source on the map that was supposed to be there at the top has dried out. And there's another, supposedly a water source, just over a kilometre down the trail in the direction that I'm going. So I'm going to crack on because I'm out of water. So stopped for lunch just after Col du Bonhomme, about a k down. I found a lovely water source, and now going to have a bit of lunch. Lunch today consists of glacial water, which is ice cold in all the rivers. It's fantastic, it really is. Electrolyte powder in there, that's why it's that colour. Got these which I bought yesterday, nuts and raisins, and this gem honey chocolate lab that I bought this morning in the little bakery in Les Houches. So yeah, gonna have a lunch break here, chill out for 15-20 minutes or so, and then get back at it. Okay, about 11:30, just past Refugio Elisabetta, and I've about 3 kilometres to go to the variant sort of junction before Courmayeur, basically to decide which way I'm going to make my way into Courmayeur. There's a variant and then there's the main trail. So I'm going to have a break when I get there and then decide where I'm going to go from there. I'm currently descending this epic valley. I've actually no idea what this is I'm walking on, but I'm going to call it a hiker highway. Hiker highway, you heard it here first. So yeah, there's the tent set up underneath this beast. So yeah, I got to the campsite pretty early today. First night in a proper campsite actually. Look at the view behind me, like unreal. Yeah, the campsite's got a little shop, showers, all that kind of stuff. So first shower, first chance to get actually to wash any of my kit either. And it's also got a bar, so guess what I'm doing? Yes! So, day 4, just got the bus from Hobo Camping down into Courmayeur, and I think I may have had a bit of a stinker. I think I've got off a couple of stops early, but that bus cuts out, or can cut out quite a bit of the route this morning that I didn't want to miss, and I didn't want to stay on the bus. But I think I've got on, or sorry, got off too early. We'll find out. So, just after 11, brutal climb up to Refugio Bertoni. We're stopped for about 10 minutes there. Had a coke from Courmayeur. It's about 800 metres of ascent, so from 1200 up to 2000, and it's non-stop uphill. So I took a bit of a break, like I say, and now I'm heading on to Walter Bonatti, which is another refuge, about 8k down the trail. And again, views up here are absolutely stunning. And that up there is the summit of Mont Blanc.
So opted to stay on the main trail rather than take there was 2 high route variations today, but the sun has been really bad the last couple of days. In fact, like, I don't normally burn, but I had a little bit of sunburn on my legs yesterday, and that was with factor 50 on. So decided to stay on the main trail, which is slightly lower into the valley. It's still nearly or around 2,000 metres elevation, but it does have quite a few areas of shade. We were going through trees and stuff like that, so yeah, I think that was a good shout. That whole variant route is exposed, pretty much all of it in its entirety, so you'd be in the sun for the next, I don't know how many hours. So yeah, give that a miss. Should be at Refugio Bonatti, I believe is the next one, in about another 4k or something, so I'll stop there, get a cool drink and crack on. So that low point in the mountains way in the distance is called Ascent, and that's where I came through yesterday morning. View of the Mont Blanc Massif all day today. It's absolutely something else. Like, don't have anything like this back home anyway. Hello. So that was an absolute slog. Just reached Col du Bonhomme, which is the border with Italy and Switzerland. So I'm now heading across border into Switzerland. Oh, brutal day. But yeah, all downhill now. I'm hoping to stay at a campsite tonight called La Feuille. Sorry, the town's called La Feuille. The campsite is called Camping de Glacier, I believe. So yeah, about 3 hours to go yet. Absolutely busted. So yeah, made it to campsite Camping the Glaciers in La Feuille in Switzerland. 35k done today, and over 2,000 metres of ascent. Long day, really hard in the heat as well. But here now, I've just had dinner, and to be honest, I'm just gonna hit the sack because I am done. Absolutely shattered. When I had it early doors today, I'm actually out of the campsite before 8 o'clock, which is not like me at all. Another 30k to do today, and day 5, yeah, wait, just over 30k. I'm aiming for a place called Le Puty, so quite a lot of hills today as well, and there's thunderstorms and rain forecast for later in the afternoon. So I want to try and get there before that, if I can. seen so many videos of this section online. I didn't actually expect to be doing it as early today. I thought it would have been later on. I didn't know exactly where it was. But yeah, this is something else. Tried to learn a little bit of French before coming on this trip because I just wanted to try and sort of know the basics. And I must be doing it pretty well because the few French people that I've spoke to, I get by on a few sentences and stuff like that, and then they go into full conversation and then I malfunction because I have no idea what they're saying. But they're all really nice. And yeah, I just find that pretty funny. There's the little marker I'm after. Been on the go a couple of hours now. I haven't seen too many people this morning at all. I think a lot of people take a bus from that little town we were in and skip a whole load of this next part. But I've actually really enjoyed it. These wee Swiss villages are unreal. They're like something out of Lord of the Rings class. So that's me just coming into Champagne Lac, I believe it's called. 15k done already, and yeah, it's only 11 o'clock. So I am a happy man and just found a little shop in the town here. Everything seems to be fairly quiet. Doesn't really seem to be too many people about, but I found this little shop, little gold mine, and check this out. Cheese, salami, Ascent, and don't even know what that is, but it looks epic. Okay, so just out of that town, Champagne Lac, I had wanted, there's quite a few variations on the TMD that differs from the traditional route, and one of the ones that I was really keen to do was the Fenêtre d'Arpet. It's really high, and the problem is there's thunderstorms forecast from about, I think it's 3 onwards. I just can't take that chance of being, you know, another 1,000 metres or whatever it is elevation above where I am now. So I'm just going to have to stick to the traditional route. It's not the end of the world, but it's pretty. I feel like I've done that. But yeah, so that's the plan. Onwards about 15k now to another bivouac site, Camping Le Puy, I believe it's called. It's near a place called Trent. Still in Switzerland. It'll be tomorrow before I'm back into France again. But anyway, onwards. TMB day 6, almost half 8. Rained quite a lot during the night and this morning, so just waited until the rain eased off a bit before packing up. That campsite was absolutely rammed last night. Quite a lot of people in it, more than half have actually already left, but to say, I just let the rain ease off a bit before I packed up. Got a pretty brutal climb first thing this morning, going up to 2,000 metres elevation, just over 2,000. We're at about 1250 at the minute, so 750 metre climb in the next 3.5k. Yeah, so it's dried off a bit, so hopefully it stays like that. Now at Col du Bonhomme, so pretty close to the Swiss-French border. Back into France again very shortly. Just behind me there's a shepherd with a sheep coming through, and one of the guardian dogs for the herds just behind me there. So heading on now to Les Houches, which is roughly about 8k away, and hopefully get some food. I don't know if there's anything there or not, but that's where I'm heading. Okay, so this is a change. Visibility's down to probably less than 50 metres. It's actually freezing cold as well. Whenever I was planning for this trip, I debated whether to bring gloves or not, whether I would likely need them, and I did. And I'm so glad I did, because it is bitterly cold all of a sudden. Towards the end of the trip, that's the first time I've really had really cold weather like this. So yeah, glad I've got the right gear with me, to be honest. I've carried it so far, and this is the first day, day 6, where I've actually used it. I'm off trail. It's about 1.5 kilometres down the road, and from what I can see on the map, there's shops and stuff. So I'm planning to stay at Lac de Cerise tonight, which is a bivouac site right up in the mountains. There's no facilities at all there. So the plan is to head down into town and get some food and kill a bit of time too, actually, because the regulations in the bivouac sites is your tent isn't allowed to be up before 7 o'clock at night, and apparently you can get fined if you don't have a permit, which I do, but also if you pitch your tent outside of the regulation hours, which is 7 at night until 9 in the morning. So bit of a walk down into the town, get some food, chill out for a bit, and then head up. And I think this next section is actually the famous sort of ladder section of the TMB, so looking forward to doing that. Get a bit of food in my belly. Okay, so what a worthwhile detour that was. It came down in off trail about 1.5 km down to a little town called Argentier, and actually had a few restaurants and stuff, but they didn't really, most of them didn't seem to be open, but they did have a supermarket. So check out this. Oh man, I'm gonna smash some of that. Right now I got a couple of sandwiches, a wrap, crab sticks. Actually, because I've had very little protein on this trip so far. So yeah, I'm gonna smash that in my little bus stop like this. So yeah, this is what lunch looks like on the TMB. A couple of guys just in front of me there, and another few guys just behind me, but I've just done about 500 metres of ascent up from Argentier, and I haven't taken a break on the way up, so once I hit these ladders, which I think is pretty soon, I can pretty sure I've seen them just up ahead. I'm going to take a 5-10 minute break before starting that, because I'm not sure how long it lasts for, how long I have to climb. So yeah, keep her lit. Oh man, that was unreal. I couldn't even get ahead of that. Because you were zigging and zagging left and right and whatever else, but I don't know, maybe 6 sets of ladders bolted onto the rockwork, and then to finish that, scramble. I think I'm nearly at the surface now. It's back to, you can sort of walk normally again. But yeah, that was unreal. Highlight of the TMB so far, without a doubt. Without a shadow of doubt. Just don't fall. So this is the spot where I'm going to be pitching my tent tonight. Last night on the trail, we'll finish tomorrow, all doing well. So we're at about 220 something metres, which is my highest ever wild camp. This backpack, I haven't got oil here into the tent yet, and there's the trusty tent. So yeah, just got the dinner on the go, looking forward to that, and then I'll be swiftly getting in the tent because it feels pretty cold out here.
So day 7 on the TMB. Quite a lot of rain during the night last night, but I've woken up to worse views, I'm not gonna lie.
So that helicopter I seen this morning, you probably can't see it in this video, but Refuge Les Blanc was not far away from me. It's about another maybe 150 metres of elevation just above me on those sort of cliffs. So most of those refuges that aren't accessible by road have to be resupplied by helicopter, so I'm pretty sure that's what was happening this morning. That was a helicopter dropping off food supplies to the refuge. So yeah, pretty cool. Glad I got to see that. I was just actually picking up at the time. So descending now back onto the TMB route, traditional route. I came off it last night and ascended just so that I could stay at Lectus Ceres, and I'm glad I did, because even though it was claggy last night, you couldn't see very far. The views whenever I woke up this morning were immense. So yeah, onwards. Don't actually know what this is up ahead, but I feel as if I'm getting into Mordor or something. Still don't know what it is, but pretty confident, not a motor. So I'm almost at the last high point of the TMB, and yeah, the paths up here, if you could call it that, is a little bit gnarly. It's quite a bit of it. You're actually scrambling as opposed to walking on any sort of path, and it's has quite a lot of boulder fields to cross as well, although they are quite easily traversable. You just have to sort of take your time a bit. But I know a lot of people cut out this last day, the bit that I'm doing, to get the cable car down into Chamonix and then basically walk from Chamonix along the road or whatever into Les Houches. But to be honest with you, this last day on the trail has been one of my favourite. It's been completely different scenery than anywhere else so far over the last week, and yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Happy days, more ladders. Didn't actually know there was ladders on this section of the trail, so get the poles away and we'll do a bit of climbing. So that's my final summit of the TMB, final high point. The summit was Les Bravant, probably not saying that right, but something along those lines. And rather annoyingly, there's a cable car that takes people the whole way to the top. So yeah, I have about 10k now, pretty much all downhill into Les Houches, which is going to be a massive amount of descent because, as I say, I'm currently at 2,525 metres, I think the summit is, and Les Houches is less than 1,000. So I'm on a pretty exposed ridge there, about 2,300 metres. Wind picked up out of nowhere, clouds came in out of nowhere. Several claps of thunder, so I'm trying to descend as quickly as we can, but not as exposed as what it was, but still up mega high here. And seen other people run to try to descend as well. So yeah. Man, that was absolutely crazy. So, walking along, decent enough weather, out of nowhere, clap of thunder. Wind picked up like within a matter of seconds, and then out of nowhere clouds came down, more thunder, getting closer. then it turned into a full-on thunderstorm. Luckily, there was a refuge, like literally, I don't even know, 100 metres away once the rain came on. So there's about half a dozen people sort of in and around where I was, like bolted for this refuge, because it's mega exposed there where we were. Just get in the refuge door just as the rain was coming down, and like it was proper coming down. So yeah, a crepe, chocolate. Wasn't sure how long it was going to last, but it actually didn't really last long. I'm going to say like 20 minutes maybe. So yeah, the descent to Les Houches continues. I think I have about 8 kilometres to go, but it's all down. About 2.5k away from Les Houches now, almost done. All being well, I'll be in there before 5 o'clock. That thunderstorm held me up earlier on, not by much, but it was mad. We're so lucky to be so close to that refuge, being able to sit in there for 45 minutes, whatever it was, I don't know, till the storm passed. But today has been probably my favourite day of the trail. More climbing, more ladders, more scrambling. Yeah, pretty cool. And the weather now seems pretty decent, so I'm hoping to get down into here to Les Houches, get the bus to Chamonix and get a campsite there. And I hope this rain stays off till I get there, because that would just be ideal. And then try and wash my clothes and get proper food for dinner, hopefully. See how it goes. There it is. There it is.